Listen, straight up, I wasn't gonna do the thing, but fuck this movie. What's up, cretins? What's up, creeps? My name is Chris. I'm the only person talking horror on the internet. So I'm not gonna spoil anything here, but fair warning, I'm gonna go off on this bullshit on behalf of those of us who still drop cash into this franchise with the hopes that they're finally gonna fix the thing. If you love this movie, that's fine. I am not saying that it shouldn't exist. You want it? Cool. It's yours to have, you got it. What I am saying is that we, as a community, mostly unanimously agreed that the original Conjuring is an absolute classic. It is a near flawless horror film that we will be talking about for decades to come. With the second movie, the conversation that surrounds it is typically that if people didn't like it, it's usually because it didn't do enough different from the original. But for the majority that did like it, it's viewed as one of the better sequels that's out there, right? I mean, it's entering that Dream Warriors final chapter aliens conversation of possibly being better than the original. The spin-offs are all trash. The third one is trash. And I feel like this is the same, and I'm just like, where is the disconnect? Why didn't the last two films work in the way that the first two did? The biggest thing that I can potentially offer is this. Who are the stars of the first two films? Did you say Ed and Lorraine Warren? Sorry, no. The stars of the first two films are the Hauntings. Who are the secondary stars to those films? It's also not Ed and Lorraine. Yes, they are more featured in the second film, but it's the Perrons in the first movie, and it's the Hodgsons in the second. You get my point? Ed and Lorraine Warren are tertiary characters at best, and it is an overestimation to assume that they are more important to this series than the Hauntings and the Haunted. Really, how many times have you watched Poltergeist and said, you know, I'd really like to watch a movie that's like a love story involving Tangina? I'm pretty sure I'm the first person that has ever strung together those words in that order. But that's exactly what they did, albeit with their own characters in The Devil Made Me Do It. They made the same mistakes in Insidious when they put Elise front and center. These are tertiary characters, third place. These characters are good for showing up, doing their thing, and leaving. And it's not a knock at the performers, they're all very talented, they can all hold their own as leading stars. But these roles are not the series. They're the ties that bind the series. The movie studio expecting us to show up to see the Warrens is like McDonald's expecting us to buy a Happy Meal, not for the food, not for the toy, but for the box that it comes in. Yes, for kids, it's a better alternative than just the standard brown paper bag, but really, all it is just a way to hold everything together. But it's even worse here, though, because they made the mistake in The Devil Made Me Do It, and not only did we double down on Ed and Lorraine as the leads in Last Rites, now their daughter and her dopey boyfriend are the secondary characters. Nobody was asking for Meet the Warrens. If you want to make that movie, and save your stupid shit for that. But that's the case right there from the start when we open with the birth of their daughter in this one. And that completely robs us as viewers of a staple of the film. You ever notice that they start the first two movies in the Psycho Halloween Scream tradition? They start the first with Annabelle. They start the second with Amityville. They start the third with an exorcism that ties into the rest of the story. But with all of these, they start and then they pivot to the actual storyline. This one starts with the birth of Judy because the focus is Judy. And I don't give a fuck. Yes, then we kinda pivot to the Smurl family, but I'll tell you, I watched the whole 2-hour and 10-minute movie. I have no idea who the fuck the Smurl family is. I guess there are tertiary characters, but like, who the fuck are they? We never meet these characters, they have no stakes. I'm given nothing to care about. Here's what I know about the Smurl family. There's like 8 of them. They own a mirror, and judging by their reactions, I would assume that they also don't regularly eat glass. That's it. If you remove them from the story, it's mostly inconsequential because Chavez is just jerking himself off to refocus on how nervous Judy's boyfriend is to meet her parents. And we're all supposed to be just like, oh man, I thought my in-laws were weird. And yeah, if you haven't pieced it together, The Haunting is whatever the fuck fourth place is called. I looked it up, it's quaternary. We all learned something. And maybe it's better that they de-emphasized The Haunting because they already show too much of the entities or the demons or whatever you want to call them, but more importantly, they look fucking embarrassing. They are the most obvious and generic character designs I have ever seen. Why would you show them off like you did something? Oh, look, it's a guy with an axe. Ooh, what kind of wild man thinks of that? Take notes from your own film series. James Wan made a half-second clip of hands clapping that was scarier and more threatening than a man with an axe. You know, Michael Chavez fucked up the main narrative once when he prioritized the Warrens in The Devil Made Me Do It. Why the fuck did we allow him another crack at it? Like nobody else was available? You know who could have made a good Conjuring movie? Mike Flanagan, Ty West, Osgood Perkins, Andre Overdahl, Brendan Christensen, the Filippo brothers, Alexander Aja, Damien Rugna, the guy that made Terrified and When Evil Lurks? How about Damien McCarthy, the guy that did Caveat and Oddity? Can you imagine what these people's Conjurings would look like? Like, these people have all done tonally appropriate supernatural movies, and you're telling me that not a single one of them wants a crack at the biggest horror franchise of the past 20 years? It's grossed $2.3 billion. Highest grossing horror franchise of all time. Warner Brothers can afford it. But we give Chavez a fourth fucking movie despite the fact that his prior three sucked shit. And yeah, Doberman's got 4 as well. Why are we putting this into the hands of people who don't know how to tell these stories? Why? If you want to watch a horror movie this weekend, go see Weapons or The Toxic Avenger. Even if you've already seen them, just go see them again. Or just go see Twinless or Splitsville or The Threesome. I do watch non-horror movies as well, and all 3 of those were fucking outstanding. They weren't this tedious drivel like this was. I don't know how to close this, so I guess this is kind of a review, so Kindred Spirits. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, The Curse of La Llorona, and getting haunted by a ghost that punches you in the gut every day at 3:17 a.m. while you're sleeping so that you shit yourself and just laying in it. On that, a note to Warner Brothers, when somebody shits the bed, you don't just let them lay in it and let them continue to shit the bed. You clean it up, you wash your hands of it, and you take whatever action is necessary to make sure that they don't shit the bed again. I got nothing else for today, cretins. That's gonna do it for today, creeps. Do all these things. Let me know what you thought of The Conjuring Last Rites right over here. I'd honestly be interested in hearing why somebody thinks it's a good movie. I'm not gonna come at you if you do, because as always, I do feel that you should see it yourself, make your own decisions, remain critical, and support horror.